My Mountaineer fans and fans just in general, boy, do I have a legend on my show today. I've been humbled and blessed and honored to play with this man and call him a teammate. My rookie year back in 1982 in the Arena Football League, I played for the Orlando Predators. And Roquemore, I call him Rock, was one of the and is one of the greatest players to ever play in that illustrious league, Hall of Fame of the whole 9 yards. This man is not only a former professional athlete, NFL, AFL, USFL, he's a businessman as well. So there's a lot that I want to jump into, but I just wanted to make sure I give him his propers when I'm introducing a legend like this. It's not an average guest. None of them are, but there's a little bit extra when you have a Hall of Famer on your show. What's up, Rock, man? Thank you for coming on, brother.
Well, it's my pleasure, man. I'm glad to be on. I'm so excited, man, to get the discussion started because, of course, I have a lot on my plate, and I know for sure you got a lot on your plate. I'm ready.
Absolutely, man. I want to take a step back because I know you're from Dallas, Texas, correct?
Correct.
And they say everything in Texas is big.
Oh, yes. They also have signs down the highway that says, "Don't mess with Texas."
I could imagine. And look, and I wouldn't want to because I understand. I get it. Now, you played at South Oak Cliff High School in Dallas, correct?
Correct.
And I want you to talk a little bit about that transition from high school ball in Texas, because everything, even the recruiting, Texas is one of the top states in the country every year in high school recruiting. From the transition from your high school into college, and I want you to talk a little bit about the college to put out pros like none other. So I want these young people to understand that if you're good, they will find you anywhere.
Yeah, that's correct. Let me go back to my high school. We are the two-time state champs. We won state champs back to back. I went to the last game for the Lake Staff State Championship. Now, back at South Oak Cliff High School, which is a predominant Black high school. Now, we had students there from 6 different middle schools. So we competed against one another in junior high, and we became teammates in high school. And at one time, and probably now, South Oak Cliff, my high school, has the most players in the NFL from in Texas, the whole state. Loaded with talent, loaded with talent. Yes.
Wow. And see, what gets me, as you just put that together, what gets me with that type of talent, I'm sure back then being recruited, you could have went pretty much anywhere you wanted to go.
Yes, that's true. I wanted to get a little bit away from home. I was at, TCU recruited me, Baylor, Oklahoma, all the big boys, all the Division I. But they recruited me as a wide receiver. And I am a defensive back. So when I took my visit down to Texas A&I, which is Texas A&M Kingsville now, I only took 2 visits, East Texas State, and I went to Texas A&I. I didn't have to take anymore. When I got there, I was shown around by a guy that was going to be drafted to the NFL. He went in the 3rd round. His name is Doug Green. First thing he said, "You're going to wear my number when you come here." He was leaving, I was coming in. So we went over to the locker room or whatever. They was working out. I saw NFL scouts there. I've never seen NFL scouts. And on that team, they had 8 players to be drafted off of one team, an NAIA team. They won 42 games in a row, 3 national championships in a row. So that was impressive to me because that was one of my goals, to be a professional athlete. So when I went there and came back home, there was no doubt in my mind that what I was going. I canceled all the rest of my visit because I saw the vision ahead. I saw my future. I saw it.
Wow. Now, see, it goes to show you 8 players from that roster got drafted into the NFL from a program like that, if I'm not mistaken, so what's one of the greatest alumni that played in the NFL that came? I know it's a lot of them that came at the A, and I know one of them, Dow Green.
Oh, it's three of them. It's Darrell Green, Gene Upshaw, and Randall from the Minnesota Vikings.
Right.
John Randall. And they all are NFL Hall of Famers. They all are college Hall of Famers. Of course, we're all in a Texas A&M Kingsville Hall of Fame at the school there.
Unbelievable. So that goes back to the premise that if you're good, NFL scouts, AFL scouts, CFL scouts, they will find you.
Yes, they will find you. And also scouts lived at that school. They were traditionally, there was one of the quietest kept secret in all of Texas at Texas A&M, which the name is Texas A&M Kingsville. So I'll repeat the same name as said before. And it was one of those traditions, Gene, that when I went there, I could actually see it. It was in the air. I saw palm trees. I was away from home where I couldn't come home every weekend. So I needed to grow up and be away and understand what my goals were when I got there so I can focus totally on that.
Wow. Wow. Now, I want to pivot a little bit into your professional career. So you got drafted in the 6th round to the Kansas City Chiefs.
Yes, 6th round, 157th player drafted in 1982.
What was that like?
Well, first of all, it was quite an experience. But when I got there and got in the locker room, I saw the guys. I saw the camaraderie with the guys. I saw the business guys. I saw the guys that was serious about it. I saw the younger guys. I came in as a rookie. But matter of fact, Gary Green, which was an all-pro corner, he gave me a call at Texas A&M before I came, and just kind of congratulated me and told me when I got there he's going to take care of me, and which he did when I got there.
Wow.
So also, Gene, that it was a dream come true. But when you get to places like that, it's not always the same as you see it in, because the level of talent was unbelievable to me. Guys could do what I could do, but better. I've been around that when I came to college, with each level, and you got to remember what you know. That's the highest level of football you can go.
That's right. That's
greatest
right.
in the world. Greatest in the world.
And this is something that I want to make sure people really understand, and I want to preface this the right way. So I know you're humble. So I just want to say this just so people can understand who they are hearing right now. When you break down your athletic resume, Rock, I was going through this the other day and was blown away. And I played with you, so I know how great you were as a player. But when you navigate the NFL, the USFL, the AFL, and you put your stamp on every league, that goes without saying. Multiple times, obviously, PPs, world championships. The thing that got me, I looked at this and I said, you know what? When you are a Hall of Fame, you was inducted in the AFL Hall of Fame in 1999.
Right, correct.
In 2012, you were selected as one of the top 25 players of all time in the AFL. That stuck with me because what a lot of people don't understand, you got guys that played in the AFL that also played in the NFL, such as yourself, but you got more guys that could not play in the AFL that played in the NFL.
Correct.
And here's what's interesting about that. I had a few of my friends who played in the NFL that could not make an AFL roster. And here's the thing that got me, the psyche of that was, obviously, as we both know, the AFL is it's a compact, box of a league when you're playing on a basketball-sized court. And being able to stop on a dime and have that kind of athletic ability, it was so different even when I did it. But to see other people try to navigate that, it really blew my mind to understand. That's when you really start to realize the difference in skill set when it comes to being a pure athlete. And you, my friend, had that in droves. Being able to come and watch you play and have you help me out my rookie year, I learned so much from watching you. Was the transition, as you said, going from college to the NFL, was it the same transition as an athlete? Like you said, that's the best in the world. And hard for me to believe that there were other people doing something better than you. Hard for me to believe that, Rob. But could you break that down a little bit more?
Well, when I went to the AFL, I played and acted and carried myself like I was in the NFL because it's professional football. And I've been a leader on pretty much every team I've been on. But when I was in the NFL, I wasn't a leader. I was a follower, and I had learned from the leaders. And my first year, my rookie year, we went on strike. So therefore, I understood everything about the business side of the NFL, ins and out, why we on strike, what is going to help out in the future, what about the insurance, what about all these other things that was going on. I understood it. So I spent a lot of time with the veterans while we were on strike. I went home once, but I want to get back because that was my profession and I had to understand about my business. And I was serious about my business.
Absolutely. Well, listen, you taught me a lot at the professional level about the professional ranks of what business really is all about. And that was truly a blessing. I want to transition, I want to segue, and that's a great segue into business. Now, former athlete, you coached, obviously. The business side of that is something different. So the business you have now, I want you to talk about that. Now, how did you get into that particular business? Give me the name of it. Let people know where they can find your product, all that good stuff, Rock.
Well, first of all, the name of my business is Can You See Me Eyewear by Rock. And the website is canyouseemeeyewear.com. Canyouseemeeyewear.com. Now, I've always been a sunglass person, probably since I was about 11 or 12 years old. I like sunglasses on because not so much that they were cool, but they had a different look. And I made sure that I wore the kinds that fit my face, was comfortable for me. And I thought it was just a very important look. Now, one thing that I knew when I started my business with sunglasses, that I knew for sure that the sun was not going anywhere. I knew that, first of all. And I know that business will last forever as long as we are here on earth. Now, also, I'm doing a business with AKA. We go to different events, my wife and myself, and we have AKA products as well. So we travel a little bit doing that as well. And I have several other products. But at the end of the day, we have a small time business, and it started out around during a pandemic, and it got to a point where, oh, we could really be successful because people shop online, and at the end of the day, I get them affordable enough for them to get, because at the end of the day, my product is top line. It's top line. It's top line product. It's luxury sunglasses. They have men and women, round, blue glasses, aviator glasses, everything that you need as well in it. So I'm comfortable in doing so because I had a vision doing it as well. Because my mother-in-law had glaucoma in her eyes. So one thing that I did a lot of research on it, Eugene. Now, also, if you don't wear sunglasses over the sun, it can cause a lot of damage to your eyes. You can't look directly into the sun. And another thing, that you should wear sunglasses when you're driving in this rain and you can see through the rain like that. So I had to do a lot of research to understand it because you have to know your product, just like I knew those wide receivers when I was covering them in the day, what kind of routes they like to run, what kind of stance that they had or whatever. So business, and I'm also looking forward to getting into other business. I won't speak of it now, but I always have things on the table. But I try to do one thing at a time. And at the end of the day, when I'm about finished with that, here come another one because you can't sit still.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Obviously, are you using, I'm sure you are, the same discipline and the things that made you great on the field? I'm sure you're using that now in your business acumen, the way that you transition in the business.
Oh, yes, without a doubt, because it's about discipline. It's about being professional. It's about being on time. It's about all the things that have to do with business. Because at the end of the day, I'm putting a product out and I have my name on it. So I'm showing character. I'm doing customer service like you won't believe because I don't want to purchase anything and not knowing that it's the right what I purchase. Now, you run into customers or whatever, but customers are always first and they better. So I take care of my customer with customer service, without a doubt.
That's what's up. That's what's up. When it comes to, and I'm sure because I want to thank you because my son has called you over the years for advice. When it comes to giving advice and talking to young people, not even so much young student athletes, but people in general about, they talk to you about advice on different levels. Is it difficult sometimes to uh, to give the advice if someone doesn't want to hear? Because sometimes it's kind of hard. People say they want the truth, but then you give it to them, and it becomes a little bit difficult. Is it hard to give advice?
Well, a lot of time advice is listening. So when you listen very clearly, you know what to say, and a person that's speaking to you know whether you're listening or not. But it's very easy to get advice because experience is advice. If I'm telling a youngster, if he asks me something and I've had experience at it, I'm telling him my experience. So at the end of the day, I'm wondering what he wants to know about it. So I give it to him true. I'm a truth teller, and you have to be a truth teller because young people can tell when you're not telling the truth.
No, that's very true. That's a fact. It's rough. I find it right now, the current state of where we are with college sports. Uh, I'm an advocate of the players making something off of their name and their likeness and all that good stuff. We all been through it. I was hoping that the NCAA would do something a little bit different when it came to doing those type of deals. For instance, I was hoping that they would tie the educational component into these NIL deals, into the transfer portal, because you're starting to see these kids are moving all over the place. And I get it. Coaches do it all the time. And there seems to be there's no backlash when they do it. So I could understand why the players do it. What do you think about the ability for players to just transfer through the transfer portal from one school to the other, but there's no academic piece tied to that?
Oh, that's a very, very interesting question. Now, I think the young athletes have the right to attend whatever school they want, and if they want to leave a school, it's no problem. But the academic part about it is when they have a major, they make sure they're transferring, able to transfer with what they're studying. And because at the end of the day, I also remember this, Gene, you do have the opportunity to change your major to whatever you want it to be. So once they change and they go to the school, it's fine because it makes it on a level field because let's face it, we want to be what we want to be, and we want to be what somebody wants us. And most of all, we want to win. We want to win the game. Now we know who is the guy that's doing very well out there, Sanders, Deion Sanders. And what he's doing is he building a relationship with these kids. So you build a relationship, they're gonna come and play for you, and also they're gonna be off the field, you'll be able to advise them and lead them in the right direction as well. So I think it's a combination thing.
No doubt. Listen, I'm real proud of Coach Prime. He's
Yeah.
doing his thing. And you're right. He's bringing these kids in. They understand, though, look, if you come here, you're coming here not only to play, but you're going to come here and you're going to be a student. You're going to be held accountable. You're going to be respectful. All those things that translate into being successful in life off the field. So I love the way he puts it together. You know what I mean? I want to jump into this real quick because I see the picture back there. I see the Kansas City Chief back there. So I know you got to be happy with the results of this year's Super Bowl.
Well, I'm very happy with the results because if your former team is doing well, you always root for them as well. So at the end of the day, I'm very proud of them. I've been proud of them since I left. When I left the team, I still had friends there. As a matter of fact, I live pretty close to one of my closest friends, Van Jakes. He lived about 15 or 20 minutes away from me. We came in a year apart back in the secondary. So we talk about old times all the time.
Right. There's something about that organization, man, that just seems to be second to none. Um, it's interesting to see what they're building, at KC. What is it about the organization that allows them to be? They're going to be good, I believe, for some time to come. It seems as though they understand how to draft. The free agency is always pretty good for them, but it just seems like it starts from the top down. Like they really do have a blueprint from an organizational standpoint of how to win.
Well, let me give you a little history of it. The Dallas Texans were in Dallas, Texas, with the Dallas Cowboys in the AFL, 1960. They moved to Kansas City. It became the Kansas City Chiefs. And Lamar Hunt, which is the owner, he was the owner when I played. He started the AFL. He was really the one that started the whole league, the AFL, not the arena football, the American Football League. So
Right.
when that started, okay, he kept his family involved in it. Right now, his grandsons and all those family members, they'll run the team as well. First class organization, one of the loudest fans that you're gonna ever see. Unbelievable city there, and they brotherhood for life. No matter if you played there, went to another team, or came back, you're a Kansas City Chief for life. That's what Lamar Hunt would always say. And he was a very personable guy, where you had a chance to really speak with the owner.
Wow.
When you can't
Yes.
do that today very much.
No, no. And you know what? And see, that speaks to why they're so successful, because when you have that type of camaraderie and you have that type of closeness, that bond, to me, I think anything that's really where you can build your success. When you have a bond with the owners of the team and the player personnels and all of the upper personnel part of it, that means a lot, because you're right. Nowadays, you can't walk into those guys' office talking about you want to talk to them. The open door policy don't exist.
No, no.
They want to make sure they keep levels between that thing, and I'm glad to hear that. Everybody seems to be really on point and very happy when you talk about the Kansas City Chiefs. You don't really hear too much off the field stuff that where they're not doing what they, you know what I mean? It seems like they really run a tight ship, but everybody seems to be towing the same line, and I think that's important.
Well, it's a first class organization. Ever since Lamar Hunt brought the team to Kansas City, it's a first class organization. And the main thing that I felt when I was there is the fans were very close, very good fans. You know, it wasn't a whole lot of booing, a whole lot of, just talking bad to their players or whatever. But it was cold up there, though.
I see. My nephew played up there, and he plays in Buffalo. So yeah, it gets a little bit chilly, just to say, a little bit chilly.
Yes.
When you talk about, I know you and I spoke about going in, and I'm doing that now. I know you've done it several times, going in and speaking to the schools and the importance of that. Could you speak to the foundational pieces as to what makes that so special, and why is that something that you and I both know is so needed?
Well, it's called giving back. Now, when the way most people that are raised, whether they're African American, white, whatever the case may be, now you have some struggles coming up some kind of way. Now your struggle is going to relate when you become an adult, and you have to share your struggles. Because if you're able to just go back and talk about things that you wasn't good at, your shortcomings and things of that nature, now you grow on that. When you're talking to kids, especially young men, in my opinion, now they're visual. You basically have to show them something visual, like show them clips, movies, vision, because they can see it. Now, at the end of the day, we don't want to leave the females out as well, too, because they're athletes as well. Matter of fact, Gene, flag football for girls, watch out for it. I saw years ago, watch out for it. It's going to be huge. I think so. But back to what we were saying. Now, when you go on to speaking to these schools, you get these kids in elementary school, and probably the oldest kid there is 10, maybe 11 years old. So some of those are in charge of their homes. You got to remember that. There's no man in the house. So you address them a different way. Now you got the kids that has a father and a mother. That doesn't necessarily mean that they're going to be respectful to another authority figure, because we don't understand what's happening in the household, period. So when you speak to them, Eugene, you talk to them things about, okay, you're a boy and you're going to become a man. You just don't become a man overnight. You have to be a boy first and go through the process of being a man. And you teaching them respect, how to treat women, how to be respectful. Your character is everything. You just have to listen before you speak. Watch who you hang with. Because, Gene, let's face it, the young men that we hung with and the young men that other people hung with, we could have stuck with them. They were our friends. A friend is hard to let go. Now, as a young man myself, I could just kind of speak about my experience from the inner city. I lost my brother when I was 14, 15 years old. He was 17, and I lost him to a football injury. And he got a thigh bruise, and it turned into cancer. I was 14. I was lost. That was my hero. So when I went to high school, I didn't go out for football. I didn't even go out for it. I went for basketball. They made me play. They came and got me out and made me play. So when I went out there, 2 weeks later, They had all the equipment. I had some jacked up equipment, some old stuff. I can't went out. Had one game, did what I need to do. They moving right up to varsity. But my brother used to always tell me, you can do it. So you tell a young man, you can do it. Not you got it, but you can do it. Because you hear him say, oh, yeah, you got it. No, you can do it. That's encouragement. You can do it.
Right. Absolutely. Absolutely. You know, it's funny, Rock. Again, we both played a sport. We played it for free because we love the game so much. I'm hoping that the generation that we have now really understand what a particular sport, I don't care if it's basketball, football, baseball, track, whatever the sport is. If you have the God-given ability and the talent, like you said, and you're getting pushed and you got great coaches around you that they see something in you probably more than you see in yourself. If you can use that God-given talent and you're blessed enough to play at the professional level and make money with it, when you're done, I only hope that a lot of these young people can navigate in life the way they navigate it in professional sports and really take it to the next level in business, like I have, like you have. There's so many of our teammates who've done that as well. They've done well in business because they were able to do. You're a successful athlete doesn't necessarily mean you're going to be successful in business, but 9 times out of 10, I think if you use the same blueprint, you have the ability to do so. It takes discipline to do anything you want in life. I've watched your career as you watch mine in business. That's what I want to talk to these young people about. If you don't mind, could you share a little bit about, again, the business side of how important it is to stay structured and do the right thing so you can be successful off whatever playing field, whatever sport it is that you did play. I really want these young people to understand that part of it, Rock.
Yeah, first of all, now a lot of professional athletes they don't know because you got to remember our dreams and our goals when we're 7, 8 years old to be a professional football player. That's going to take another 15 years or so to get there. So once you get there, let's say you get an injury, you play a very short time. I've played in the NFL a very long time as well. So it's all over with. And you 27, 28, or 23, or whatever it might be. So what are you going to do? You made preparation to become a professional athlete, not preparation to become a professional businessman. So while you are a professional athlete, you work on becoming a professional businessman while you're doing that because you're in a position where you're going to meet the people you need to meet. You're going to run into the people you need to run into. You're going to be introduced. You're going to be in places where you can do them. But you have to understand what your business is, not lying someone else to give you your business, what you're going to do. Now, what you're saying, Gene, it makes a lot of sense. Now, it's a struggle for the ones, even like us, to be successful because when you have a passion, okay, that's greater than anything, what other passion can you put all your, all your marbles into? So what I did is I took it from football, but remain disciplined, remain humble, understood what business I want to do. And then I found out who my audience were. Then I found out the people that I was going to be associated with. I'm going to do business with my partner, which is my wife. And then I'm going to understand that, okay, financially, I could make a living at it, but I'm not going to get overwhelmed. That's why I started out in a small business where I can do all of my stuff over online and I don't have to have a building that I'm paying for like a mortgage every month. So when I'm there, I can do it. I don't have employees I got to pay on a payroll every month. So at the end of the day, where is my overhead? And then where is my profit? Is why I look. You have to take your time to get where you need to get. I didn't start out playing professional football as a starting cornerback. I was a nickelback. And I started when someone went down. I had some starts in the NFL, 5 or 6 starts when the guys got injured. But I played also with 5, probably 6 all-pro guys. So I was with the best. But back to business. One of my other goals in business was to be successful and try to bring my children involved or some family involved as well. But at the end of the day, that takes time because you have to choose and pick the right one that's set up for the business. Because business is business, friends are friends, family is family. And
I know that.
I take that to the bank.
I know that's right. I have another minute, a minute left on this, man. I want to first off, I want to thank you, but more importantly, Rock, I want you to make sure you let people know where they can go and buy your glasses. Please give them that information again.
Okay, I have a website and it's canyouseemeeyewear.com. CanyouSeemeeyewear.com. Can you see me eyewear.com. Now, matter of fact, I got all different kind of sunglasses, and I just so happen to have a pair right here.
Ah,
Can you see me eyewear by Rock? Can you see me eyewear.com?
I love it. I love it. Rock, man, listen, I appreciate you, man. Listen, I know you're busy. Thank you for taking some time and coming on my show, man. This means a lot to me. You don't know how much, man. I really do appreciate you, brother.
Yeah, I appreciate you, Gene, inviting me as a guest, man. It's been my pleasure, man. I'm proud of what you're doing, like I always tell you, and keep up the good work, man. And we'll collaborate real soon.
You already know. Thank you so much, man. I'll be in touch.
Without God, we are nothing.
Appreciate you, my brother. Thank you so much.
All right.
Got it.